This is Isabelle Andrieu, and she's launched 3 multi-million-dollar companies.
We were as outsiders in the industry. Nobody was talking about technology.
I flew out to Italy to meet her. She shares the stories behind her successes and
We were
failures.
betrayed by one of the guys who said, okay, we're going to build the technology for Google for you if you ensure us a position in your companies.
After many years, her ventures still stand.
When we saw 25 years ago, it was completely disruptive, but we took the opportunity and we're still here.
I'm Mabel Yvonne, and this is Prototypes.
They wanted the technology, they didn't want the people. Like, you can't be a perfect mom, you can't be a perfect CEO. Mom wasn't built in a day, so
Exactly. Yeah, we're in Rome.
And we're Rome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Prototype podcast. Today, I'm joined with a new esteemed guest. Her name is Isabelle Andrieu, and we're just going to jump straight into it. So, I've been doing some research about you, Isabelle, and I really think you're like a superwoman because you're a mother of 3. You're a linguist, you're a serial entrepreneur, you're the CEO of Pi School, you're the co-founder of Translators, you're an investor, you're a writer, you're a part-time kickboxer, you're a part-time sailor. The list goes on. You've had a very long and successful career, and it'd be great to just hear a reflection on your journey, like how you're feeling today, if you had any tough points this year so far or last year, like how have you navigated having all these roles, being a superwoman.
Thank you, Mabel, for all the lists, and thank you very much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be with you. It's not easy, and when you give this list, I'm proud of myself. Like, oh wow, I'm all of this. I think the important thing is that you give yourself some patience to not be perfect. Perfection is really painful for people, and you have to breathe a lot and
Even now, breathing.
Yeah, now that we're breathing. But I think I'm a perfectionist by nature, and being a perfectionist with all these roles is not sustainable. Like, you can't be a perfect mom, you can't be a perfect CEO. You have to release, you have to accept that nothing is going to be perfect, but it's a step-by-step thing. So once you've accepted that and you've accepted that you can make mistakes, then it builds yourself. So this is first step, allowing yourself to make some mistakes. Doing something for yourself every day, not very big things, like having 5 minutes of a coffee for yourself, or starting a book that you haven't started, or doing some sports. Sports for me is very important. I think doing something every day, not potentially big, helps you a lot. Rome wasn't built in a day, so
Exactly. Yeah, we're in Rome.
And we're Rome.
Forgot to mention. With Valentine's Day coming up, love is in the air. I think Translated was a kind of a story built on love, and I think it's very cute. And I think you first invested in the domain name Translated for $100.
Correct.
I think you first had a trip to China, and then you went to Nepal where you met your co-founder. Could you paint a very vivid picture about all these moments that led you up to build Translated and build Pi School, build Pi Campus?
Oh, wow.
And how did this? It's a very big question.
Oh my God, we need a day.
And how do you feel love and partnership really played a role into sculpting this vision almost maybe 25 years
Yeah,
later?
25 years this year. We actually went to Nepal first. Nepal was our first trip. I met my husband in university in France. And then after 3 months, I decided to go on a trip with him, asking my mom to go with my new Italian boyfriend.
Mom was like,
no way, bring your brother. And that trip was it was our first adventure, wide adventure. We had to face big challenges like hiking the Himalaya, 250 kilometers by ourselves with a very big backpack. And we loved adventure. And this was the beginning of what happened. So back in our own countries, because I was in France at that time and he was in Italy, I decided to give a chance to this story. But the willingness to stay together physically and to start something together was really at the core of Translated, because I had some other jobs at that time that were very far away for. So love was at the core because we wanted to stay together. And I think love expanded in this entrepreneurial journey to everything that we're doing right now. It's love for being together, but love for the people, for making the world a better place every day, love for the team, for what we're envisioning. We did a great party for the 20th anniversary. We took our team, split it into 20, and then went to 20 different locations to meet our translators. It was 5 years ago. And it was a great team building adventure as well. Adventure is also part of what we like to do.
So essentially, love and adventure was like the heart of everything. And so would you kind of say that that's like your advice to future entrepreneurs, like the best way to build something? Do you need that love? Like, do you need to love, have that passion, have that love? And also, do you need that sense of adventure, that risk to take? And also just to put yourself through like the journey you're going to.
I didn't think that when I was younger, I would be an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. So I probably had that seed in my head, but I didn't really know.
You planted it.
Yeah, probably. I think it depends on the people, but for me, it evolved. The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, it evolves every day. But I think the core is really making an impact. So all the stakeholders, all the people I'm meeting, I'm trying to make an impact in their lives by being kind or by doing interesting projects. That's my goal. And I'm very proud when I see my team meeting for, I don't know, whatever reason. We had a ski trip 2 weeks ago, and we were.
Where did you ski?
In the mountains nearby, 2 hours from here. No snow. There was no snow. That's
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, when you see like the overall picture of 130 people, you say, "Wow, we are creating something. We are having an impact in our team's life, raising families. It's like a big family." And also an impact with our translators, with our engineers that come to the school.
So let's rewind the clock back to 2006. I think at that time you were 7 years as a CEO, and then you moved into this villa?
No, it's a villa nearby.
Yeah, you moved to a villa nearby.
Yeah, in Via Nepal.
Oh.
Which is, by the way, the same street name because we took the villa because we went to Nepal. And
that's so cool.
When we saw it, we said, okay, if there's a message from the universe, let's take the rent.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, so I think at that point there was a new office, so it marked a new beginning, right? And I think I heard that Google was interested in acquiring Translated, and I think you ended up saying no to Google because they wanted to buy the tech of Translated, but you didn't want that, right?
Yeah.
So just looking back, how did that experience shape you in terms of like making big business decisions? Because essentially Google's a huge company, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets? And did you wish to say yes, or do you think that was such an important moment? And like, what sort of advice would you get to give to other people who might be in a similar crossroad, like having the opportunity to sell to a huge company, right? But also the idea that you've built something, you don't want to lose it. Like
exactly. So I wouldn't say yes, even today. So the day we arrived in the new office, the exact same day, we had the delegation of Google, like 5 people coming for a due diligence. They wanted the technology, they didn't want the people. So I think it's all about values here. Why do you do what you do as an entrepreneur? How do you envision the future of the people you work with, the people that trusted myself and Marco? So we said, okay, we're not going to give them a future if we say yes to Google. So it's all about this. So I think that you have to really deep dive in what are the reasons why you do your business. And at that time, we didn't want to lose the people were the core of what we were doing. Yeah. They were essential for the success of the technology. So it was not a business decision. It was about the people, about making sure that we would do that together.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how long did it take for you guys to just decide and say no? Or was it just like
10 days?
10 days?
Yes.
Were you like not sleeping at all?
No. I mean, the due diligence took a week.
Okay.
So another 3 days, and yeah, we didn't sleep.
When they're like grilling you every day, give us the income statement of this. Yeah. And part 2 to this question, I actually found out that I think some of your engineers left. How did that feel? How did you deal with that? Because that must have been intense. Like after you guys said no, they were like, oh, I'm going to leave. Like, how was that?
Yeah, we were betrayed by one of the guys who said, okay, we're going to build the technology for Google for you if you ensure us position in your company. So they left. It was really hard because in 1 week we lost part of the tech team.
It's a big part of it, or just
yeah, and we were not a lot of people, so we had to. I mean, you have to just breathe, start from the point that you stopped, probably some months in terms of how you want to develop your tech. But that's what we did. So a little bit of courage, a little bit of hard work, and then you're back on track.
But didn't that feeling of betrayal like affect you? Because it must have set you.
Yeah, some of the people betrayed us, and I think it's good that they're not part of the journey anymore. Yeah. So it's good that you leave someone behind. It's better that you stay with a core team that really trusts you.
Yeah, and so what advice would you give to inspiring entrepreneurs who feel like they may have been betrayed by a co-founder? Because you hear these horror stories about like, oh, I broke up with my co-founder, they were crap, they did this to me. Like, what's your advice to that? Like, how do you deal with it internally? Because I think there's always been a lot of talk about how to find a co-founder, but no one tells you how to deal with it. How a co-founder could break up with you. You could have different ideas and decisions. You might want to take the company one way, they might take another way. Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's like being being a couple, really. And Marco and myself are a couple in life and in business. So decisions are really. I mean, you have to have a synchrony,
like a grounding, like synergies.
So. Exactly. So my advice, it's hard. It's really hard. But again, I think it's about your own core values. What is it that you want to? What do you envision? What is it that you want to make? Really digging into that.
You think that you have to know yourself. Like, very well.
Definitely.
But I think you started Translator when you were 23.
And Marco was 22, I was 23.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't think.
You look so young, yeah. And especially because you started a new relationship and a new business as well. But yeah, it does make sense. I think you really have to like know yourself. Do you feel like you knew yourself like that?
Absolutely not. Wisdom comes with age.
Do you think Translators sped that up by like having your own company? Do you feel like it made you learn faster and grow faster?
I think working on yourself is really something I like to do. I think we brought that also to the companies we're working on, making sure that you look back and see where you were 3 months ago and say, hey, I grew up, and it's good learning from your mistakes and moving forward. I think it's really important, but it's a mindset that you have to have. I don't think I had it at 23, but
you have it now.
No, probably I have. I have more wisdom now. But I think you never stop learning. I don't know if it really depends on having a company or not. We really try to improve every time. So probably we brought the improvable mindset into also our personal lives.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So right now we're in Pi school, we're in Pi 6, is that correct? I'm here for the final week. I've been building a large language model for a startup. It's been an amazing program because I've got all the engineers like down there, you can't see it, but they were working hard. You started Pi Campus, and then it was Pi Campus, you had Pi School. So all these different companies, these collaboration, these ideas, it's all going towards like technology, artificial intelligence. And I feel like Translated kind of pioneered that idea. And you've seen technological advancements from the beginning, right? Before I was born. And so how did you expect like tech to be this revolutionized? Did you expect AI to be this like crazy now? Maybe it would be great to hear from you like how you feel tech has changed.
We have in Pi School is about learning by doing. And I think we started the company because we saw a gap between the traditional education model and what you really need in the field. So by doing some real projects and putting your hands dirty into what is really needed, I think we're making sure that engineers are not only good tech people, but are people that are prepared to innovation, to think with creativity. So that's a little bit why we did that. AI, I think when we started with Translated, it was 25 years ago, and we took the opportunity of internet and we bought the domain with $100 And we thought, okay, that's an opportunity for people to make some change. And we took the hype and embarked in this journey. And that allowed us to really think about being global from the very beginning and having an impact on worldwide with languages. And what's happening right now with the ChatGPT and the AI, it's really the vibe right now. Everybody's talking about AI. We've been using AI since 25 years, since 1999.
We did this ages ago.
And I can tell you that when we went to conferences in the language industry, showcasing live some projects with, using AI, and we were seen as outsiders in the industry.
Really?
Nobody was talking about technology. People would hide themselves from using AI. So now we're in the middle of that, and people are scared a lot. But I think we think that AI is here to enable the potential of people. It's not machine against the people, but it's a symbiosis between the two to foster a better, I would say, collaboration between machines and humans. So my vision is that I think we need to embrace AI as much as possible, because it allows us to become like superwomen like you. Yeah, superwoman, Superman. I think that's the power of it.
I think what's happening is everyone is basing everything in fear.
Yeah.
And then obviously you start translating based on love. And I think it's the idea of how do we shift that mindset and how do we hold everyone's hand and say, actually, this is not scary, this will help you.
Yeah, to me, it's really, I don't say that it's easy, but it really you need to have a growth mindset, and embrace technology is not easy. And I'm thinking also about my mom who says, oh, I'm completely dumb in using my mobile phone. So it's not easy, but having a growth mindset and thinking of my own story, when we saw 25 years ago this big change that was completely disruptive, but we took the opportunity and we're still here. I mean, and now with the ChatGPT, we're having a little bit the same approach in all industries, but in the language industry, especially because people have fear to lose their jobs. Translators have fear to lose their job as well, because they know that the technology will replace the hard work that they are doing right now, but they need to have, probably there will be other kind of jobs that will appear, and the translator will have a dialogue directly with the machine and will no longer be a traditional translator. So that's the mindset you have to have, not having fear and understanding that it's a cycle and we need to embrace that. I think it's very important that we make sure that we do this with a lot of ethics, understanding that technology is here but needs to be monitored as well to do things for good. And that's the approach we are having in our business, like really putting love at the center and making sure that you are having an impact in doing things with ethics for good. Yeah,
and that's really good, because like I think now governments want to like actually put ethics in place of how we deal with AI, how we regulate it in terms of copyright and everything. And this brings me on to my final question. We're talking about ethics, we're talking about having a growth mindset, we're talking about innovating. And at high school, here we are, we're trying to be training engineers to work with stakeholders, work with startups, work with different companies and build something great and also learn from it as well. I feel that high school is amazing because in a sense you're building the next generation of innovators basically. And so looking ahead, where do you see high school in terms of your role, in terms of where you want it to go next, and what sort of legacy do you want to create, maybe in Pi School, maybe Pi Campus, and also the entire Translators as well?
Yeah, good question. So as I was mentioning before, I think it's very important that we create the next generation of engineers that are not only good tech people. It's about giving them also communication skills, making sure that they are able to talk. I mean, bringing the human part of these people, not because they are behind the machines, but they need to interact with this symbiosis between machines
no one
and
is
humans.
a robot, yeah.
Exactly. And we need even more of these skills. And I think it's super important that in general, we need to concentrate on showing empathy, working on empathy, working with all the more human skills that people have in symbiosis with the machine, because that's what we need. So that's a little bit my vision is about making an impact also on the people that take.
So you want like hybrid human robots?
Yeah.
We have all these upgrades, like translation upgrades in our head, Neuralink and everything. Thank you guys for watching this episode
Thank you,
of
Megan.
Prototype. It's really great hearing your thoughts and hearing your journey through everything. So
Thank you.
please tune in for the next episode that will be out very soon. Bye guys.
Bye.